Hello and welcome to Pokemon TCG Daily Match 28. Fellow trainers, I hope you're having a fantastic week wherever you are. This video is actually a little bit different. I had enough time to do commentary over this one because as I was recording it in real time, the audio, my mic wasn't connected, so I'm just talking over this video as this match runs because I don't want to just be 13 minutes of silence. That happened to one video about a week ago. In this video, I'm showing off my my new deck that I've been working on, my Zoroark Empoleon deck. I had a fantastic match with it just now. This is actually very different. I haven't done commentary over while my match is already running in front of me, but this is actually kind of something I want to do long term, where I add more commentary to things, just kind of in a real time kind of situation. But this match ran very, very well. In a second, you'll see, if you watch a couple of my gameplay videos, you'll see a very familiar deck that we're playing against. It was against a Zoroark Lycanroc deck, so total deja vu, playing against one of the decks that I absolutely really do like. I think, you know me, I like the flexibility of the Zoroark Lycanroc deck. I think it's a great neutral deck, and you can actually get that deck together for well around on a decent budget, and you'll see in a second how similar his deck is to mine. So let's go ahead. I'm saying get started with this match, but I already know how it ends. I don't want to spoil it too much, but I can talk just a little bit more about what I like about this deck right now. This is actually kind of nice. Let's see. So in this deck, it's completely centered around Empoleon. Empoleon attack, I can't remember what the name of the attack is off the top of my head, but basically it does 20 damage for each Pokemon, both on your bench and on your opponent's bench. An absolutely monstrous attack just for 2 energy. There's so many ways to get energy off in here. So the essential pieces for this, of course, are Piplup, Prinlup, and Empoleon. I'm running 4 Empoleons, 2 Prinlups, and 4 Piplups, and then I have 4 rare candies in there. That's a very natural order for things with when you're running evolution Pokemon. Especially for me, I've kind of stayed clear of having to use stage 2 Pokemon, but with the water type Pokemon, it's really easy to get the cards you need to evolve quickly. I haven't ran into too much issues there. So again, Alolan Vulpix, this was actually a great starting hand. I was already able to start evolving things right away. Alolan Vulpix, if you don't know, you can use Beacon for absolutely no energy cost. A couple other variations. So Zoroark in here is, I like Zoroark in here. There's been some for your pull supports. I've seen other variations of the deck. This deck uses Artillery or Oranguru. I think Zoroark's the best one because of its trade ability. You can discard cards from your hand, which is actually really important because sometimes you want the basic water energy in your bench, because then you can use Aqua Patch, which then you can attach up to 2 to 3 energy cards per turn, depending how many things you can discard. So by discarding cards, I'm not really ever right here. Actually, you can see actually I traded Tapu Lele here, but I could have also traded in that water energy as well, because then I have things like rescue. I actually have 2 rescue stretchers in here. I have 4 aqua patches, so I'm not really worried about getting back my Pokemon or wasting any energy. So yeah, I haven't attached an energy there yet, which is why I did that. And then this is a great match showing this deck working everything. You do want to get set up quickly. You want to get as many Piplups out there as you can. Just so you have the option to evolve. Right here, I was in a lucky mode. Just had a luck of the draw that all the pieces I needed were there in my deck. I didn't have to try to search for rare candies or anything. So in the following turn, I do end up evolving them. Some changes I want to do with this deck, or find room for it. So there's some big ones. So right now I'm solely relying on Empoleon. Basically, he's my heavy attacker. I would like to find room for 2 double colorless energy, or even just 1 double colorless energy, because then I can make use of both Zoroark and Tapu Lele. There's been a couple situations where I would have liked to use them. Sure, I can attach water energy to them, and it's not that big of a deal, but I am mostly relying on Empoleon. So having that double colorless energy, 1 or 2 of those would be great. Another one, I'm a huge fan of Mallow. Mallow doesn't really make sense in a deck like this just because you have so many of the pieces you already need, and you got cards like Professor Sycamore just to burn through your deck, so I already got plenty of those in there. And kind of a huge one actually right now, I haven't decided who I want to have as my GX attacker, but currently right now in this deck, I don't have a Pokemon that uses a GX attack. There's actually the variations and other forms of this deck I've seen that's not a common thing just because you don't really have to worry about it, but you know, I do want to find a Pokemon if I can find the room in there to use a GX attack, because it would be an absolute waste not to use such a powerful attack and such a game-changing attack. They started things off with Zoroark. I would have gone for they're gonna actually switch out my Zoroark GX. I would have attacked Empoleon. Had they attacked Empoleon, this match might have been different, but they decided to go for one of my heavy hitters. I don't know if they overlook how much damage Empoleon does. But like I said, I'm not really worried about Zoroark at this point. Another great advantage to playing with just your normal day-of-the-mill Pokemon that aren't GX or EX Pokemon is that they only lose one prize card per knockout. So even if I do lose an Empoleon, I don't really mind, because you know, they actually have to basically collect 6 cards. The only Pokemon, the 3 Pokemon that I can have on my bench that my opponent can take 2 prize cards for, it's Tapu Lele, Zoroark, and I also have a Manaphy EX in there, which you'll I don't think I used Manaphy this turn, but Manaphy EX ability is that for any Pokemon that have water energy attached to them, they have a free retreat cost, which is incredible. Which is why right now I only have 1 Flowstone in there, because that's kind of what I rely on. And even then too, all of my all of the guys out here, they don't have a high retreat cost as it is, so it's not really like anything catastrophic. If I do have to retreat people out, and then I have Guzma and stuff, so there's other ways I can retreat Pokemon out. That's the card I want to find room for in my deck. I would love to find room for Mallow, because then if I did find room, if I could find 1 Mallow and 1, even if I can find room for 1 Mallow and 1 double colorless energy, I can justify putting in even just 1 double colorless energy, because having the chance to be able to potentially build up Zoroark or Tapu Lele as another attacker would be pretty cool. So there's that. There's the GX counter annual. So even at this point, this deck can start out really slow. So right now they just took 2 prize cards, but now you're going to start seeing the real stopping power behind it. So at this point, I don't think I play down another GX Pokemon. I think that's what I'm running through my head right now. How much? So right now I can do 100 with if I get my bench attack, 100 there, another 80. So that's 180 right now. 180 plus another 30 with the choice bands, 190, 200, 210, exactly 210 for the knockout. I do end up discarding 2 of the water energy right there. So just a devastating attack. Like I said, I actually don't have a lot of basic Pokemon in here, so I always have to think about who I want to bring out. I do end up bringing out the Tapu Lele, and I grab a Cynthia while I'm at it. To retreat out. Sorry, I keep hitting the mic on the stand here. This is definitely a different kind of. I might do this. If I have enough time, because obviously it's taking twice as long to record the video. But I actually do like being able to just kind of relax here. So, counter energy, a new energy card that was one of the many new energy cards they released in Ultra Prism. I don't really get to use its ability here right now. It only counts as 1 colorless energy normally. But if you have more prize cards than your opponent, it counts for 2 of every kind of energy. So in certain situations, I can instantly attack with Empoleon's total command. So absolutely, I have 2 counter energy in here, especially if you start like this deck many times. This match is one of those rare instances where I gotta start off super quick, and everything just kind of lined up. But the matches I played with this, I have found myself setting up later where my opponent might be taking anywhere from 2 to 3 prize cards before I have everything set up. But once you get everything set up with this deck, you're potentially doing up to probably between 160 or 200 plus attack, 200 damage per turn, which is absolutely crazy. It's great because even these big guys right here, you can knock out. I was actually surprised they didn't pull out their GX attack, but at this point, I was feeling pretty comfortable with this match. A couple other things that broke here you see on that screen. I'm running 2 of those, 2 Bridgets. I only have 2 choice bands in here. That probably will become 3 because field blows are just super common right now. That choice band is super important for EX and GX Pokemon. It just puts Empoleon's attack above that threshold, especially if I'm at that if I'm doing like a max of like 160 or something. That extra 30 knocks out so many Pokemon that are in that so many GX Pokemon that are in that 170 to 190 range. A couple other guys I want to consider putting in here. If I could find room for Kukui, that'd be a good one. That'd be another 20 potentially right there. But like I said, that's kind of situational. The Pokemon really the only Pokemon, and even then though too, the Pokemon that I found out that survived the total command, like the entire attack, the one Pokemon that I found a couple matches up is Gardevoir GX, who has 230. But it is possible still. If there's 5 Pokemon on my bench and 5 Pokemon on their bench, and I have a choice band, then I can still do 230 even against Gardevoir, which is absolutely insane because 230 is a crazy amount of HP. Like I said, you do have to worry about some grass type Pokemon because its weakness is grass type. So then you'll have to be thinking about that's actually one thing. I haven't actually played against a Tapu Bulu or anything yet with this deck. So hopefully that's actually the deck I'd be most worried about is playing against Tapu Bulu. Tapu Bulu, not super worried about Golisopod. And like I said too, it's one of those things that this deck, it's only 1 prize card my opponent's taken from me, so it's not really that big of a concern. So I'll be trying this deck out probably at a couple leagues, hopefully. Like I said, my big regional event is out of the way now. This match is wrapping up here in just a second. Mew EX, another Pokemon I might try to find out there. That's actually a deck I want to play against. So maybe I know a guy in my league who runs Tapu Bulu. I'd like to try out this deck against him. You could potentially. Tapu Bulu could one knock out a lot of my guys as I'm setting up, but then with Tapu Bulu, you're using Vikavolt and those kind of guys, so then I could potentially knock out their Vikavolt pretty easily as well. So that'd be really cool. Also, so I think they do end up conceding the match because I've got things pretty well set up here at this point. I think they do concede the match right. Yep, they concede the match right there. So yeah, it was a fantastic match. And actually, I was going through here, so in a second I'll start going through the deck a little bit. I wasn't planning on talking about my deck so much, but I do end up just basically kind of showing. I probably, once I get to a really comfortable level with it, I probably will do some type of deck profile like I do with my Zoroark Lycanroc deck about a month ago. Like I said, there's so many cards. I wish I had so much more room for it, but the variation I have right now, if you see right here, it's not a bad deck at all. It's fantastic. So that's the Manaphy I was talking about. No retreat cost for your water type Pokemon if they got a water energy attached. I'm going for Zoroark. I think Zoroark's a better form here. What I said in this video was there's actually another one I've seen with Empoleon. A lot of people, I've seen them try it out with Glaceon GX. So I could see how that Glaceon GX, if you don't know, shuts down your opponent's GX and EX Pokemon's ability. So that shuts down Zoroark, that shuts down any other guy that has ability. 8 energy, you see that counter energy there. One Float Stone right now, 3 Cynthias, 2 Guzmas, 2 Sycamores. Nothing really out of the ordinary here. I'm gonna try to figure out how to balance out some things differently. Like I said, the amount of trainer cards to energy cards to Pokemon, that will all change in the coming months, and it will really change in this once the rotation happens. That evolution soda, that's actually probably the one that might go out right now. But yeah, I'm really happy with this deck right now. I wish I would have had it ready actually for regionals. I probably would have used it at regionals just with how the format is right now. I think I could have maybe done a little bit better even with this deck that I have right here right now. But this has been Pokemon TCG Daily. I hope that maybe this gave you some ideas to work with. Other decks I want to work on are Garchomp Cynthia. The Lucario one looks really fun. And of course, keep up with my Zoroark Lycanroc deck. But this has been Pokemon TCG Daily. Don't forget the subscribe button if you're brand new. I did an Elite Trainer box this weekend as well. And I will see you tomorrow as always, fellow trainers.